After those last two fights, I'm going to say back to our regular scheduled programming in just a little bit of a way. Because with Baeza and Fialho, we're going to get a very exciting fight. The one thing I'm going to give Baeza credit for here is the kick game. I think Andre has an incredibly strong boxing game, but you saw what happened in that Pereira fight, right? I think that Fialho's opening round was phenomenal. He was able to line up his shots. His pressure was good. But the moment he started eating shots to the body, started getting boxed up a little bit, he slowed down heavily. There's a moment in the second round you can kind of see the breathing really start to take over, and that's where his focus was, man. And Pereira really does sometimes look tired, but can throw volume. And the big thing that you slowly start to see, which is normal for a Pereira winning type fight, is, it's that 3-for-1 ratio in the striking. I mean, yeah, Pereira can get hit, but he does throw good combinations together after that. And you start to see Fialho take a lot of the damage there. And the one thing that was missing was any kicks. You talk about how much he lives in that boxing range. And for a guy to look so good in the first round and then show a relatively gaping hole in his game there, it's something to be, very much considered when you think about what Baeza brings to the table. He's taken on a lot of guys over the course of his, young UFC career that have given him good looks, man. Matt Brown is a legend of the sport. Yeah, right now, maybe not looking that part, but in terms of a look and having to deal with that adversity, I think it's a pretty solid dub. And then you talk about the guys he's taken on afterwards. I mean, Santiago Ponzinibbio really did not only test the cardio, but test the chin, right? And then you have Chaos Williams, who's got, that God-given power style of fighting, and, he laid him out pretty clean. That's where, for me, I'm just a little curious about that one. I think that Baeza should have a slight edge, man. The reason I say that is, I originally said, the kick game. I think that's an added bonus there on the feet. Both guys have really good takedown defense. I don't see this going to the ground. And, it's going to be a battle of cardio. I think the big thing that I noticed in the Santiago Ponzinibbio fight was it wasn't as much damage related to. I think Baeza, as a fighter, started to feel what it was like to unload that much as well, and then go deep into a third round with a guy like Santiago. And then on the flip side, when you talk about Andre and the fight that he had, that was more of almost like a learning curve where it's like, let me show my best work in the first, and then as a veteran fighter like Michel starts to get his timing down, finds his combinations. That's what was really good about that fight. I mean, Pereira really put it together there in that second and third round, and Andre paid the price for that. So there's very good, things to learn from for both of these guys leading up to a fight that's so big for both of them. The co-main is pretty much a Dana White Contender Series advertisement, and so this is a great fight to lead into that. And you think about where both of these guys might be able to lose. The cardio is a big issue there. But I think if Baeza can go to the body a lot, use kicks to keep a distance, and start to put his power punches and combinations together, he might be able to mix it up a little bit more and find ways to that victory. And then for Fialho, it really is about mixing it up a lot more. I think that his one-dimensionalness in that fight got the best of him, and then as he started to take more damage, especially to the body and then more to the head, it slowed him down. And when you rely on that boxing range and landing big shots there, and then you're also losing some power just based on fatigue and the damage you're taking, unfortunately, ways to win later in the fight just aren't there for you as much. So I like Baeza in this fight. I think it's a good opportunity for him to kind of come back here. And so, yeah, I'm going to go with Baeza as a minus 160. I think that's a fair line based on how well we saw Andre do on a short notice fight against, a potential title contender down the line. I think we know what to expect from both guys, and it should be hella fun. So let's take a look here. Sniped. So Baeza, this line hasn't moved much at all. Baeza opens the minus 180, and frankly, it's fluctuating between minus 170 and minus 180, and that's about it. Andre opens the plus 150 dog, and again, fluctuating between plus 145 and plus 150. So from an MMA perspective, this fight's actually quite close. I see a lot of people talking about the potential of, both guys finishing, so, an under might be considered, but it's funny. Those tend to be the fights where guys just end up boxing each other up, get tired in the third round, and it's just a fun-loving decision after that. But I think it's going to be crazy fun, regardless of where you put your money. For me, I am leaning Baeza. The line suggests the same thing, leaning Baeza. So let's keep the kids. Let's keep this train rolling. I'm excited for that fight. Probably one of the more exciting fights on the card right now.